Section 404086. We're on US Highway 81 in the southbound lanes just north of Chickasha, Oklahoma. You'll notice that this is going to be a somewhat different video than the others we've shot because we found out just as we came out on the project that this one is going to be overlaid this summer. And this visit is really, we will be back to this one before they overlay it, I'm almost certain, to do the detailed distress survey and to get the records down that we need for a GPS 6B test section. However, what I want to do now is to show some of the distresses just to give a feel for the detail and just get a visual record of them, because next week they'll be out here sealing these cracks, and therefore the severity level of them will be changing between now and the time the overlay is placed. I'm going to pull up here just to do a quick panoramic view. We're in a fill section. We've got about 12-foot fill here. On a section we're just coming out of a left curve. It is of such a slight degree we are not super elevated, or we've already dropped it by the time we get down to this end of the curve. I had to move the section back about 100 feet from where I had it originally placed because we got into an area where we had a different type of distress occurring in a small isolated location just downstream of the test section, which would be in the area which is going to be sampled. And I didn't feel that it would be, those samples would be representative of the test section, so we moved it on back, and therefore we're not entirely within a tangent as we'd like to be, but I think we're better served by this location than we were before. Moving on down, and I'm going to make this short and sweet. Okay, the first thing we come to, and probably the predominant distress that we see here, is transverse cracking. And as you look here, you can get a feel for how it is. It's cracked throughout the depth of the asphalt concrete pavement, and in this area we've got almost right about a foot of asphalt concrete. We're not drilling it this time. We'll drill it next time when we come out and do the detailed distress survey, because at that time we'll require a rather lane closure of quite a bit of time in order to record this information. I'm going to assume a 3-hour lane closure is needed for that. But looking here, you can see how deep down into the cracks we go. Right here I'm at approximately station 0 plus 25. This is also accompanied by some other cracking just downstream of it that you can see there. And what they usually refer to this as is depression cracking here in Oklahoma. And it might be a result of just the loss of support due to water getting down into the subbase here, or possibly some pumping that occurs. That seems to be evident in other locations where I've seen this, but it may not be the case at this specific instance. Moving on down, we've got some other locations where we have some minor cracking starting to develop, such as right here at about station 0 plus 94 at the edge. We're at station 1 right now. Moving on up, you can see some more of that cracking which is developed in the wheel pads there, and there. And then another transverse crack which would be of low severity because it has not opened up anywhere near as much as that other one. But it extends all the way across the lane into the northbound lane and into the shoulder on either side. Moving forward, coming up to around station 0 plus 50, 0 plus 55, we have another developing crack here. And then another transverse crack, longitudinal crack, and then another transverse crack. This is not quite to the point where it would be defined as block cracking, but we're getting there. Come on, doggy, come on. The dog's been following us around ever since we've been out here and nearly got run over just then. But this is something that we see in a couple of locations along this test section. You can also tell, come here girl, that we have some rutting going on as well. I wonder how well this video is going to turn out with the dog giving me all this attention. Here we have another transverse crack, and I'm around station 1 plus 85 here. And you can see where some grass is growing there near the center, near the lane line, and you can see where it's more highly distressed in the northbound lane, and where some patching has taken place, as well as having some secondary cracking occur. It is not as bad here in the southbound lane, but again, you see adjacent to it and about a foot downstream from it some companion cracking developing along with it. Right at station 1 plus 98, we have another. Come here, girl. Come on, get out of the road. Ow. You just jumped up on me. We've got another crack starting to develop. This is interesting, folks. Station 2 plus 50, right in the middle of the test section, we have another transverse crack, and you see where we have some secondary cracking, or it's actually in two cracks here over in the outside wheel path. It's opened up by around 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch throughout the length of the crack in this lane. We have some raveling here in the shoulder, which isn't reported normally on the distress survey form. We have another crack beginning to develop here at around stations 2 plus 70 approximately. And then some more of what I described before in the wheel path, some longitudinal cracking starting and then tying into a transverse crack or a couple of them here at around station 2 plus 90. This one gets rather wide over there at the center line. It's a little over an inch wide over there. But then throughout most of the length of most of the width of the lane, it's around 1/2 inch or so. And you can see where some of that other cracking is developing just downstream of it again. And also some upstream starting to develop there about a foot on either side of the transverse crack. Right up here at station 3, we've got some more of the, I guess, chicken foot type of a crack. Kind of hard to describe it any other way. And over there in the center line, there's some more transverse cracks that are starting to form around station 3 plus 15. And again around station 3 plus 25 or 3 plus 28. And another mature transverse crack here up around station 3 plus 50. I'm approximating these distances and these stations, obviously. I'm just eyeballing them in. This is very typical and is the typical distress that we see out here. Severity level and all. Have another crack starting to form here around station 3 plus 65, 3 plus 75. We've got a crack that's working its way across the lane from the center line out to the center of this lane. Another small crack over there in the wheel path or just out inside of it around station 3 plus 85. Coming up to station 4. There's another one of those. It's around station 4 plus 12. At station 4 plus 04, you got a very small crack there starting to develop. Trying to note each of these as we go, because as I mentioned before, they're going to be sealed, and that'll really be the distress survey that we need before the overlay, because that will represent the distress severity levels at the time that the overlay is placed. But I think it's important to try to get these while we can now, so we can go back to them and monitor this test section a little bit more specifically. So longitudinal crack, and then another small transverse crack there, which is only in the inside wheel path. Another mature transverse crack here. Again, this is the most obvious or prevalent distress that we see in this test section. And again, it is accompanied by some hairline cracking, which is occurring parallel to it, about a foot downstream of it, and mostly in the wheel paths there. You can possibly see it there, and also over in the inside wheel path. The rutting appears to be at around 1/2 inch or less. Haven't had the opportunity to measure it. We'll do that when we come back out here in a few weeks. Around station 4 plus 50, we've got another transverse crack developing. It extends from the inside wheel path over to the center of the lane. Approaching the end of the test section now. Got another one located there at around station 4+70. That's from the inside wheel path over to the center of the lane. Moving on up, here's another one just in the center. This one looks like we may have some stripping occurring between the asphalt and the aggregate there down in the crack. As you can see, the asphalt cement up here at the surface adjacent to the crack. Same thing about 5 feet downstream around station 4+85. It looks like the parents of our little friend came by and got her. And then here in the outside